So you want to know how to boost performance? Well, on today's episode, we've got a very special guest coming in to talk about a new product that could potentially revolutionize the performance athletic industry. We're also going to talk about his experiences in the foundation movement system, all that and more coming up right after this. We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image. Dropped a bomb right after we go live. Okay guys, welcome. It's Monday morning. We are pumped and ready for a big week of training down here at Unity. We're also really excited to look at a new product that is coming out. It's been developed in Italy, and it's essentially the research that's stacking up looks really good. It looks really promising. It's a performance enhancer, a natural performance enhancer, and it is using nanotechnology. Now, we knew it was coming. Everyone's been waiting and wondering what the transition from the robots taking over society and killing us off one by one looks like. Well, today we've got the very first cyborg on the show. No, I'm kidding. We've got a good friend of ours and a client. So let's start off by talking a little bit about your experiences here, man, at Unity. This is Mario.
Hi, everyone.
So how was it? How long have you been here now at Unity?
So I think it's 4 months.
Yep.
I used to be a weightlifting, not much into that seriously, just in the last, I would say, 3 years.
Yep.
So I've been training a lot, but then I found there was a lack of strength, real strength. Maybe because I have long arms, I'm very tall, and I struggle to actually improve my weights. So I wanted to try something new,
Yep.
and I noticed you guys on Facebook, and
Yep.
I was really intrigued by your mobility stuff. And since I'm a pioneer of everything, I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And I came here for a month trial, and I immediately fell in love.
Yeah, awesome.
Simple as that.
Yeah, awesome. And have you experienced a change in yourself, in your body, since training here?
Yeah, definitely. At the beginning, you guys forced me to do the basic progression, and coming from a background of training, I was struggling with doing just single arm push all the time, and later I noticed that the mobility and the strengthening that I've done with these basic exercises basically improved every single on my lift.
Yep.
I hit on every single key lift a personal best.
Yeah, awesome.
Which
Fantastic.
I was never able to do that.
Yeah.
So,
and you're someone that we enjoy training for, not because of your amazing good looks and humor, but because you actually you apply the training to something physically. You do Latino dancing?
yes,
Is that
I
right?
do
Ballroom?
salsa and bachata,
Salsa? Yeah.
and it really helps.
Yeah.
But most of all, I like to feel well, and
Yep.
I like to have my body perform in anything
Yep.
that I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is running to catch a train, or there is the training.
Seducing a woman
anything.
by dancing.
Seducing a woman by dancing.
But that's
Man.
it, isn't it? It's all about just being able to perform, isn't it? Just being
And
able to
feeling
do
good.
the things. Yeah,
Yeah.
feeling good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon that's the number one thing about training
Yes.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's always drawn me towards it. I never got into bodybuilding when I was younger. I was always put off with the idea of training to look good. Always wanted to train to feel good and to be able to perform. So yeah, it's good to see that you've experienced that with the foundation movement
I
system.
think I share a very common journey here, because I never been into sports. When I was a kid, I was allowed to eat everything,
Yeah.
like really everything: donuts, croissant, fried food, anything. And I was still doing sports, but I didn't have the awareness enough to actually say, oh, okay, but how is my body feeling? How am I feeling? Why am I still looking bad? So what I started with was diet. I worked out a little bit, and then my goal, unlike you, was just to look better. The problem with looking better is that you don't take care of your body properly, and you feel shit.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And then you look in the mirror, you're starting to look better, but you almost look sick, maybe because your diet is not balanced.
Yeah.
You're training too much, too hard, and it really doesn't pay back.
Yeah, that was my experience. My training was 100% aesthetically driven when I first started. I was a boxer, and I was very skinny and a natural ectomorph. And because I was doing on average 20 to 35 hours of boxing a week.
Wow.
I was burning so many calories, so I stayed so lean. I would have been around 5 to 7% body fat when I was in my 20s. But I got very body conscious because I was so skinny and when I wanted to start impressing girls. And so my natural progression into weights training was all about bodybuilding. And I never really had experienced a body that was dysfunctional. I was always very athletic, very fast, very agile. And then in my mid-20s, late 20s, I decided I was going to stop boxing because it was too taxing and taking me away from my business. And I thought, oh, well, I need to do a sport because I love sport. And I started playing soccer. I had a background of soccer and rugby league as a teenager. And I was really dysfunctional. I didn't realise how much the impact of all of this aesthetics training. I looked good. Arguably, I looked amazing. But when I got out on the football field, I was slow. I wasn't agile anymore. My mind was still there. My mind was still this athletic guy that I'd grown up as, but my body wasn't keeping up. And I ended up having a severe knee injury that I needed a full knee reconstruction, and that was the turning point for me. I was like, okay, I've got to start focusing on performance and how my body performs and feels as opposed to just how it looks, because the looking good thing was only good for sort of lying on the beach, you know. And it was good. My confidence was good and all that sort of thing, but I thought maybe there's a way that we can do both. You know, you can have both. You can perform really well, feel real good, and look really good too. And that's certainly where we're...
Enough about you.
Yeah, that's right. So let's talk about now... we need to figure out how much of your performance and transformation is due to the foundation movement system and how much is due to that patch on your arm. Now, performance enhancement is a very, it's a very, very, what am I talking about? Taboo, I guess, industry, and most people have very, very strong dogmas about anything to do with performance enhancement that's not like coffee or even supplements, even nutritional supplements. It's like people are either scared of it or they've formed dogma around it because of drugs, you know, and because of drugs in sport. So this conversation is interesting because it's a new product to even Rad and I. We haven't tried it yet, but we've certainly been watching Mario in the gym, and he won't shut up about it. And the research is pretty solid. Like I've gone through a fair bit of research that Mario's provided me. There's some stuff in here that really interested me, especially we were talking about the boxing stuff before. It's a product that's out of Italy. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about the product first of all and how you came to find it?
So yes, you said it right. Performance enhancement is a very taboo topic. Especially because you associate this with the chemical enhancers. So T-NES Power was born from an idea. Is that the body, the natural body, used properly, is that optimized enough to actually perform as its best? And I don't want to hurt the body anyhow when I train. I train to feel good. That's what we say, right? So I want to feel good, and I want to feel good naturally. So when we actually first approach people that never heard about T-NES, we usually talk about it as an aid. Okay, because it is really what it is. It's an aid, all right? Essentially, it works this way. It taps on your electrical network on your body, and it optimizes the connection between nerves, vascular cell, and muscles. The result is the performance that is improved. But where it really has an impact is your heart rate under stress and your lactic acid. As you know, guys, we produce lactic acid, right? Which per se is not a bad thing, but the human body actually produces too much lactic acid. So this taps into that excess of lactic acid, and it decreases 13% on average the production of lactate, and also on average it was noticed the reduction of 6.5% on the heart rate max under stress. So it was tested at the beginning with mice, and they noted peak of 300% improvement with for lactic acid, and the performance on endurance were improved of 35% stable. And then they passed to triathlon athletes, which are I don't know, the icon of the sport, right?
They're certainly
So-
heavily stressed athletes. Yeah.
Yes. So what the test was is picking up 60 triathletes, put them under a placebo,
Yep.
and put them under T-NES. And they noticed that on a power bike test, they performed better because they had less lactic acid. They did a lactate test after the exercise,
Yep.
and their heart rate max was decreased on average by 6.5.
Yep.
Now, people are crazy about performance. Think about cyclists; they do hyperbaric chambers,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
in some countries they're even illegal.
It's big business, yeah, very, very big
Yeah.
business. A lot of money going into it. So, in layman's terms for the audience here who are wondering, to give you an example, obviously lactic acid is going to help improve recovery. So from Monday to Tuesday, you can train at a higher intensity. And we talk about this a lot in the Foundation Movement System because we like training at a moderate intensity of 70%, 60 to 70% every day, as opposed to 100% 3 days a week. And over a year, and we've put this to the test a lot, over a 12-month period, when you're training consistently, they do this in Eastern Bloc methodology. That's where we sort of adopted it from, where weightlifters, they also refer to it as greasing the groove. They train to a moderate intensity every single day. They're not overtraining, and they're not requiring a lot of recovery in between training bouts. So that means that the accumulative total of what you do over a 12-month period is far greater than someone who's absolutely belting themselves but only a few days a week. Yeah. So from a practical standpoint, what this would mean is that you can train at a higher intensity every single day and benefit from that accumulative effect with slightly more intensity. Now, the study I said that interests me the most was the boxing study, and when you look at the graphs here and the performance graphs, you can see that the total intensity of the guy's workout, of the test subject's workout, was much higher and much more stable all the way through the workout. At the end of it, they monitored a bunch of things. They monitored average velocity of movement, of punches thrown. For someone who wasn't using the product was 11.4 miles per hour, and the average velocity of the using the product was 19.2, which is a lot if you're considering how much, like, the work rate that you're going at. The other thing that I noticed was that the punch count was even greater by roughly 60 punches over 10 rounds. And I guess the biggest difference was the average sort of heart rate was much more stable throughout the 10 rounds for the test with the T-NES. So it's a very that's a study that I was very interested in because I did sort of 16 years of boxing myself. That is something that you could certainly benefit from. Now, in a sporting environment like this, because it is obviously increasing performance quite substantially, what is the legality of it? The sporting commissions and stuff like that. What do they think of it?
So T-NES is essentially a micronized biotechnological device. It's a silver plate with nanotechnology, and it creates a very, very tiny magnetic field with extremely low frequency current, and interacts with your microcurrent that naturally flows in your body. Essentially, all of these to say there are no chemical substances.
Yep.
It's all natural.
Yep.
So it's been approved by Food and Drug Administration in America.
Yep.
And it's going to be distributed in America as well. And it's listed as an Australian therapeutic good.
Yep.
And it's listed in TGA.
Yep.
And it has no impact.
Okay.
No impact on your chemical body whatsoever.
So there's no chemicals going into the body whatsoever.
And what you're actually reading is a test done on the WBA champion, 2 times world champion, which is our Italian testimonial, Giovanni De Carolis.
Yep.
And he's like totally into it.
Yeah,
he's using it constantly. He noticed the...
What sport does he?
Boxing.
Boxing,
Yes.
yeah, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's 2 times world champion.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's Italian.
Which makes it better.
Makes it better.
Italian
that's right.
importer, Italian accent.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So if you want to get some steroids, this isn't going to help you. You're going to need to go somewhere else.
We are against
Yeah.
steroids or any other chemical substance.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's an interesting concept because the without knowing much more about it than what I've spoken to you about, I haven't done any research on this, but when I've heard people talk about the biofield that the human body has and the way that we you hear about those cameras that they can point at people and it shows the different different energy field around people, and you've read the Heart Math Solution where they talk about how everybody's heart has a certain field around it that comes off an electrical frequency. I mean, even to the extent where like sharks, the way that a great white shark first picks up on, it's either the first or the second. It either picks up on the smell of the blood first, or it picks up on the electrical impulses from the muscle in the water. So there's something in this concept of the electrical impulses in our body. And so if you're talking about a technology that taps into that and that enhances our nervous system's ability to create these pulses, it's something that interests me.
It's funny. I was at a conference a while ago because I've put a lot of study into electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic frequencies and how they affect the human body, because we are a big mass of electromagnetic pollution ourselves, and we emit frequencies up to 16 meters outside of our body. And anyone who has sat around a really negative person in an office in a closed environment will know that you pick up on someone's energy. But it was always debated. The science that was done on it, people would try and slam, and it was always debated until, and I think that, and this is what the speaker said at this conference a few years back that I was at, the moment that Bluetooth and wireless internet was invented, I think the debate about electromagnetic frequencies has been put to rest, because if I can shoot a video on my phone and upload it to Facebook within 5 minutes through an electromagnetic frequency, I'm pretty sure it's real, you know.
Yes.
I don't think you can argue that it's not real anymore, you know. The only argument is how much can we interfere with and affect the electromagnetic frequencies that are produced by the body, and does that enhance our performance, you know. Yes. And so I think this is an area of it's a watch this space area to see how much this sort of unfolds, and it's exciting to see a product like this coming out onto the market, and to see, you know, how far it goes.
Well, Yanni, I used to always try things in life before actually believing stuff. So I have a present for you.
Oh, look out. Here we go.
There you go.
You know, the problem is now we're going to start using this and people are going to say we're taking drugs or something. You know, because
I get that a lot. But it's like every new thing, when you try it and when you don't know it, you judge it without knowing it. Yep. But then slowly you get to know it and you actually think it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
this
awesome,
is cool, man. So let's just quickly, before we wrap up, how do we use it? You walk us through it.
So before you start your training, you put the T-NES Power.
Patch on, and this is what it looks like on the body.
Exactly.
Yep, you can see that.
It simply looks
camera,
like a patch.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
yep.
You apply it, you warm up for 10 minutes. We usually do because you have mobility exercise and stretching.
Yep.
And there you go. Yep. Done. It's running and working for up to 48 hours.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that means if you guys train a lot, you use 3 devices a week.
Yep.
If you guys train 4 times a week, you use 2 devices.
Yep. And so we leave it on for 48 hours. It can go through the shower.
Yes.
It can be exposed to sunlight.
Soap, anything.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Doesn't interact with anything other than your body. You apply either on your shoulder, on your hip, on your glute. Yep. Essentially when there is a low transpiration, because it interacts with the sweat, but it doesn't require much. Yep. So you apply and then you're good to go. Yeah, beautiful. And despite other products, they're actually trying to fix the problem at the end, as in, I have muscle soreness, I need to, massage, electrical impulse, like contracting stuff. No, this is just applying and working. Yeah, cool. Easy as that.
Yeah, awesome. And where can people get it?
They can get on T-NES.com.au.
Yeah.
And I made a special discount for Unity Gym friends. They can insert a Unity Gym friends code, and they can get $30 off.
Awesome.
Oh, wow, awesome.
All right, well, I'll link that up in the description of the video as well here, and I'll include that code that you guys can use as well. So any of our subscribers and people catching this, people in the Movement Mastermind, if you want to get on this and try it, Rad and I are going to give it a crack and see how we go. Just remember, if you do see masses of performance enhancement occurring here, it's not drugs, it's T-NES Power. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. It was great to have you on the show. Watch this space, guys. We're super psyched to try and be some of the first people to have nanobot technology going into our bodies. If we turn up with cyborg body parts, you know that we've taken it a little bit too far. Anyway, we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got a big show planned, and we're talking mobility again tomorrow, so tune in. Other than that, get your workouts in, guys, and have a fantastic Monday for everyone in Australia and Sunday for all of you in the US. Take care. We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.